Welcome, everybody. Good afternoon. It is live at 5 time again here at Pharus Global headquarters at 1859 Southeast Port St. Lucie Boulevard in Port St. Lucie, Florida. My name is Brian Hartman, and I am the president of Pharus Funding Partners and partners in pharusglobal.com. You can check us out there. We have several different companies called an ecosystem under one roof, and we like to say that we help businesses from the cradle all the way to the grave, and we're more the exit strategy. Some people like to say that a little bit. I guess it's a little bit nicer. But anyway, appreciate everybody being here for episode number 24. Today we are talking about the British are coming, and we have Amy Mitchell, who is going to be joining us today, founder of Houses of Windsor, the creator of fine tea gifts for business owners to express memorable gratitude to their clients. Houses of Windsor is a British-inspired online tea shop that creates and ships custom gift sets on behalf of business owners to their clients as a memorable thank you gift. Houses of Windsor has been spreading the love of England in the States since April 2018 through an online tea shop, pop-up tea parties, an online virtual tea time show, and in the news as a royal expert. At the beginning of 2020, Amy was called in not once, not twice, but 3 times as the royal expert on Fox 35 Orlando to discuss Prince Harry and Meghan's departure from senior royal duties. Amy has 20 years of experience admiring, obsessing, and experiencing British culture and its afternoon tea tradition. She has visited the UK 5 times, with some stays as long as 3 months. So without further ado, let's welcome Amy Mitchell.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
Good. I'm used to the Zoom, so I had to switch up a little bit.
A little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah. But I am good. I'm ready to talk Brits.
Awesome. And we are ready to hear all about it because the British are coming, right, Amy?
That's right. They're awesome. Here if you're in my house.
We couldn't tell. Look at all that
right.
stuff we got there. So let's share with the audience. First of all, if anybody has any questions or comments or just want to say hi, please drop them in the comments. Whether you're on Facebook or LinkedIn or on YouTube, we're happy to be able to answer any questions you guys have and basically say hi.
Yes.
Tell the audience, Amy, who is that famous person in that blue dress behind you?
Oh, that one. Well, that one is...
You thought I was going to talk about the Queen.
I know, I did. I was like, yeah, well, it's the Queen. So the famous person in the blue dress behind me is one of my Christmas gifts.
Drum roll, please.
Yes. So I was turned into a royal in portrait form. And that is me with my blonde hair. You'll see that posted all over my social media. That was one of the most fun things to receive and to see.
I'm sure it was. You see, the only difference now is you have to make a second picture with the same dress with that hair, because that hair almost goes with that dress.
I know, you're right. I'll have to get the shading just right. And
just then right. You can make it match. That would be pretty cool.
Awesome.
So we're excited to have you here with us. Towards the end of the show, we're going to put up all of your contact information so people will know how to reach you. I already have a nice banner set up to go across as we get through it. We have one question. Let me pop it up there. Lynn LeBlanc says, will William be the next king or will Charles?
Oh, so excellent question. And that is something that a lot of people like to say that Charles could be skipped, but actually there's no way for that to be, I'll say, legally done. The Queen can't even decide to skip someone. So unless, essentially, if Charles passes before the Queen, that's the only way that William is going to be next, is if he doesn't live long enough to be king. And I don't wish that. I don't wish that on him. I'm just saying that's the only legal way.
I think the Queen is going to be the first person to live to like 150.
I know. Yeah. Well, her own mother lived to be like 101, so she's got like 6-7 more years if she's like her mom.
Absolutely. Good question, Lynn. Thank you for watching us. We appreciate it. All right. So, so we got the pretty cool Houses of Windsor sign right above your head. We got the Queen right there, and we got you all roiled up. So that's pretty cool.
That's right. And I'll have to say the Houses of Windsor sign was actually brought back from friends that I have in the British American Chamber of Commerce, who are Brits themselves, but they went over there to visit, and their friend makes signs, so I even have a United Kingdom made Houses of Windsor sign.
Very cool. Very cool. So I'm going to jump in with a few questions that we have for you, and nothing too difficult.
Okay. I hope I pass.
But I think, before we dive into that, I know I briefly mentioned it in the bio, but why don't you tell us how, what made you create all of this? And what are you accomplishing? Like, what can business owners look for with what you do?
Okay, well, so I'd say there's a couple parts to it. So there's the obsession with England and British stuff that started about 21 years ago. So there's that part that has, that's the passion that I turned into the business. But I didn't start the business until many years after that. So essentially my motivation was I had a 3-month-old daughter. I was not looking forward to the plan of having to go back to work at 6. Sorry, there's Captain. I was not looking forward to going back to my office work at 6 months old. And so I, with the help from pushing from friends, or I'll say encouragement, I decided to just go ahead and try and turn my business into a passion, because I wanted to be a role model for my daughter, aside from having fun, creating this weird British thing, right? Turning my obsession into a business. So aside from that, I wanted to be a good role model for Piper, so she knows that she can do anything she wants to do. And then also for a flexible schedule. I'm not in the office, so even though I get busy, I'm in charge. So, and if Piper's sick one day, I don't have to call into anybody and say, I'm so sorry. You're going to have to do the work for me.
That's very true. Yes. I know the feeling. But, so what does the process look like of what you actually do and put together with your business? Like, sure. Let's make up some XYZ business owner. Is it
right? Okay, so for the XYZ business owner, initially I would just want to speak with them, phone or Zoom, and get a feel for their clients and if they're sending like thank you gifts, welcome gifts, or birthdays, whatever. So to get an idea of what their clients would like, and then also they can give me their budget, and I can build from that. So I often put in, well, obviously there's usually tea, unless it's specifically requested not to have tea, which is sometimes. Right? Yeah. And then there's different British like biscuits and sweets, which is cookies and candy. So there's that, and then I've got I'm now carrying soaps and scents that are all British imports and British companies that would be awesome gifts as well. So even, you may not want to give a client perfume, but there's like hand creams, right? Like hand lotion is an okay thing to give.
That you can get away with, not the perfume.
Right.
So much.
Yeah, maybe don't get them the whole perfume set, but you can get them some little like guest soaps, some cute little things.
Yep.
So that's essentially how I create it. And then, if it's someone who uses me monthly, then that is their set package. So whenever they can just email me a list of names and addresses for the next month, and we don't have to have that initial call, because that's your custom gift for your clients.
So basically, once they set it up, it's like a box that you put together and send out. And then once you have their customized setup, then they can just give you a name and address of where they want it sent to, and you just go ahead and ship it out.
Yes, so I ship it directly to the client, and also I should note that some people either have inserts that they already have made that they want to put in there, or I make them for them so that they've got their company's branding and everything, and either thank you or welcome message with it. So it's so that they don't just get this package and like I don't get it.
So that's great. So you'll actually put the business's collateral material inside as well.
Yes, absolutely. And some people do like, especially for gifts, if they want, a custom gift message, I have it printed out very nicely on fancy paper and folded up like an old timey envelope with a sticker. But I use a pretty, calligraphy looking font, because my handwriting is not not good for that.
So it comes out in a nice manner. We'll put it that way. Okay.
Yes, yeah. I say if you want it to look like a little boy wrote your note, that's me. I'm your girl.
So sometimes that may come in handy. You never know.
Yeah. Maybe when I'm like forging homework for Piper in a couple of years.
There you go.
But anyway.
So it's kind of it's a totally different concept than I think anybody's ever heard, and especially in the States. I mean, is there any competition for what you're doing?
Nope. I can't say there is. There's no direct competition at all. I don't think. And it's funny you mentioned American companies. So I do know someone who runs, it's still different, but she delivers essentially afternoon tea boxes over in London, and that does great. But, people don't really need a box of tea sent to them every afternoon here.
Probably not, yeah.
Yeah.
But I do have to say it was really cool. I did get my box, and I do have samples.
Good.
Samples. And I got the postcards, which are very cool. And look what I got. I got my own
special, you got your own portrait now.
Own special portrait, yeah. So that was really cool. And I had the cookies.
Yes.
Of course, the cookies got eaten already, so the tea I haven't got to yet, but I'm getting
so that was the Walker's Scottish shortbread cookies, and the Scots know how to do their shortbread.
They definitely do. Yeah, there was nothing short about that bread.
No. It's definitely packed with butter.
So that was the cool part, was that just after our conversation that you send out samples, people will be able to get to see what it's all about, and I think that's a great idea. So for anybody that's watching out there, I will be giving you Amy's contact information at the end, and she's happy to get together and make it happen. So
absolutely. Yeah, I'd be happy to, if you contact me, I would love to help you out with some free samples so you can see what it is I do.
That was very cool. So So we talked a little bit about it, but obviously you're intrigued with Britain and their culture. But how does one become so intrigued?
I know. Yeah, that's what I say. So, yeah, so for me personally, it was this whole studying abroad as like a 14-year-old. So that, and I've told you in our own meeting, but basically Prince William was my gateway drug because I was 14, he was 16. His 16th birthday photos were on all the postcards. So it was perfect timing for me to hop over there. But for the other Anglophiles, which I feel like that's probably a term we should teach everyone in this show. So Anglophile is someone like me, anyone who is, they don't always call it obsessed. I call it obsessed. But basically, you have a very, strong love and, admiration for England and English culture. And that can be expanded to the United Kingdom. But yeah, so I try to tell people that we also have rose-tinted glasses. So I could take you over to the places that I see, and I'm like, isn't this incredible? Like, don't you feel like you're at home? And they're like, I mean, it's neat, but they don't have the same connection.
They're like, it is what it is. Okay.
Right. Yeah. So unless you have whatever that Anglophile gene is, unless you've got it in you, you won't become one of us. But there are several of us. And actually, a lot of people that I know have really just come through it through TV and movies, like growing up, or if their, parents read like British novels or whatever, anything like that. If there was a lot of British kind of running around, they might pick up on it. Well, I suppose music too.
So I'm curious. Have you learned how to speak with their accent, or not really?
So that is the funny thing about me is that that's probably like my only fear that I have is I don't, or I should say just like nervousness. I don't like to do it for anybody because I feel like there's so much pressure on me as the tea lady, like the British tea lady, that if I don't do it perfectly, then it will just be a letdown. So it's locked up in a vault.
Oh, man. I thought I was going to be able to open it up. Darn it. All right. Maybe the show's not over yet, so maybe we can still make that happen. Maybe. All right. So how would you say you differentiate between British and American teas? I know this is like a really loaded question, but what's the difference between them?
Well, let's see. So when I think American tea, and I think a lot of Americans think this, they think of Lipton, which if
that
you
me,
so if you ask any Brit, that's not tea. And I could tell you one Brit that moved over here, she said she asked for like a black tea. They brought her Lipton. She's like, okay. And she's like waiting for it to turn dark. And it's just like this reddish color. And then she like puts it on her tea bag. She's like, it never turned black. Like, what? She goes, what is in here? But, and of course, I think, a lot of people, if they've heard anything about the Boston Tea Party, I'm pretty sure that's why our, daily consumption of tea really dropped off. And so we had to pick up on coffee. But I will give America some credit because I don't know of all the American brands of tea, like specifically, because there's a lot of smaller ones, not the giant Lipton that's not great. But some tea is actually even grown in the States, which I was surprised to learn that when I was researching some tea leaf stuff recently. And I thought, oh, wow, okay. So if you think of American tea in that way, we must have we must grow good tea.
I guess we know a little bit about what we're doing with it, huh?
Yeah, I suppose. Until it gets to the factory.
So it's interesting that, do they drink less coffee over there, or?
Yeah, I'd say in general they do. I feel like coffee for them, usually it's kind of like more like an after a meal thing, like it's not to survive throughout the day. But I imagine that it's probably become, always becoming more popular because there's Starbucks everywhere and everything else. But so I suspect coffee's been creeping in quite a bit. But a lot of the people that I speak with are still like tea all day pretty much, and coffee if they feel like it.
So what makes them love tea and over there? The British love tea just as much, or if not more, as we love coffee. Like
right.
As you mentioned, Starbucks and Dunkin' D&D.
Right.
Everywhere. What makes the difference? Like why are they so obsessed with tea?
Right. Well, they've been drinking it like for a long time, and it started out though it was so expensive when they first brought it over, like from India and stuff, that they basically it was only like the richest of the rich could have it. And so then as time went on, some tea makers figured out how to make it a little cheaper by probably mixing in whatever, not giving them full 100% tea.
Yeah.
But I feel like what really made it, I guess, burst was when so her name is Anna, the 7th Duchess of Bedford, and like what was it? It's like 1856 or something, or 1865. But anyway, she was hungry between the hours of lunch and their late dinner at 8, so she asked for some bread and tea to be brought up for her as a snack. And essentially that morphed into her inviting friends over and then them having fun, and then it became a thing like where they'd go over to each other's places, and it's kind of like whose servants or whose cooks can make the best sandwiches. Yes. So I'm glad you did that, because that's one of the biggest things I try to spread is that is the pinky up is actually a huge misconception. Pinkies should be down. But yeah, so pinkies down with your cup. Yeah. It doesn't have to be like down, but just don't stick it out.
Not like this.
Not like that. No, but it was still okay, because if you were let's see, acting out that you're picking up like little sandwiches and stuff. So that's where the pinky myth comes from, or misconception comes from, is because the higher class would like pick up, their food or, little finger foods like that. And your pinky just kind of naturally goes out or whatever. Like you're not holding on to it with your whole hand. Yeah, it just sticks out a little. But so that became a thing, I guess, where people decided that's what the rich people do and they must do it for everything. I mean, so still, by all means, do it and have fun and take pictures. Just don't do it when you have tea with the queen.
There you go. Otherwise, she's going to get very upset, I'm sure.
Right. But
that is not what we do.
Exactly. So with that in mind, basically, I feel like that was called afternoon tea, is called afternoon tea. And so that just sort of morphed into its whole other thing. And so now Brits, but they just drink tea all throughout the day. Well, they're not going to have the whole afternoon tea, most likely, unless you are the queen. And but you have it. They definitely always take a break at like 4 o'clock, and drink it morning till night.
So it's not the 2 o'clock 5-hour energy drink. It's at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, it's 4 o'clock. Although you probably went at 2 o'clock as well. You probably go every couple hours.
There you go.
Yes.
So I'm sure for everybody that's watching and listening out there, what is your favorite tea and why?
Yeah, so that was tough. I was thinking. So I would say, like the boring answer is like an English breakfast blend, right? I'd say for the most part, teas that I really enjoy are chais and flavored chais. And that is the tea drink itself. So a lot of times when you go to any cafe, it'll say like a chai latte or whatever. So that's, it's all steamed up with milk and whatever. But you can have chai just as like straight tea and you can taste it a lot better. But I like chai a lot because it's got some spice to it in a Christmas way. So I used to say that it smells like Christmas. It still does. But And it's got usually kind of a little bit of a sweetness to it, and then I make it a little bit sweeter. But I would say pretty much any flavored chai that I've had has been a really good one.
Very cool. I can't get over thinking of the fact of tea becoming black. It just doesn't make any sense.
Oh, that's hilarious because you're used to, the red.
The red Lipton that's not really tea.
Yep, that's hilarious.
That's funny. So it's very cool. I mean, there's plenty of other ideas of what business owners send to clients and stuff like that. But I think it's probably a really nice change of pace if somebody gets a box of these cookies and teas and maybe even the soaps and the lotions and stuff like that. It sounds like a really cool idea. So, and probably colorful too, I'm guessing, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So it's colorful, and then I of course add plenty of presentation to it, so that they open something really great. But I'd say the I just forgot what your question was.
Just as the experience that people have when they get this, it's like.
Yes, yeah. Sorry. I'll claim mom brain on that one. So, so basically, it's really neat because for most people, they've not seen or tasted any of these things before, and you wouldn't be able to get them easily on your own. Also, like the collection of it really would be time consuming, but it's very memorable because they've not seen before. A lot of people basically just tasting chocolate that's made not in the US, usually that is like a big awakening for people. And so I always hear back from the business owners that their clients just like raved about it. It was like the prettiest thing. And they can drink the different flavors of tea that are not Lipton. And instructions are included. So, some people, they understand you might be sending a tea ball to someone. They're like, I don't understand what I'm supposed to do with a tea ball. So you put the loose leaf teas in it instead of a tea bag. But, so I try to put in a bunch of instructions and make it just a fun thing. And also, people have been traveling, so this is kind of a neat way to get a little piece of culture in your home.
Yeah, so it sounds like a lot of fun. And it was. I mean, I experienced it with the samples that you sent. It was pretty cool to go through that. So I'm brand new to this whole concept. I don't think I hate to say it, but I don't think I had a cup of tea in probably 30 years. I mean, iced tea, obviously, and stuff like that. I didn't sit down and actually have a hot cup of tea, right? So if someone is totally new to the English culture and to tea, where do they start? I mean, I remember when I had my first cup of coffee. Everybody can remember that, but I wouldn't even know where to begin. Like, make it exciting for tea. Tell me where should I start?
So I would say to start. So with tea alone, I would say to start with probably a simple black tea of sorts, like an English breakfast. So I think Earl Grey is, I'll say, easier to drink for newbies rather than English breakfast, but some people really don't like the floral note that's in the Earl Grey. So I'd say one of those. I'd say, I like chai. I always think chai is good. So that could be good because it's a little sweet. But my biggest tip would be, or at least how it worked out for me personally, was I didn't like the taste of tea. But I loved how cute the sugar cubes were. So I just put lots of sugar in it until I was essentially drinking hot sugar water. And then as you keep practicing, you can add less and less sugar.
Were you bouncing off the walls a little bit?
I was in college, so who knows? I was already.
That means it. Say no more. No,
Right.
Okay.
Right. But that being said, I do know someone who was brand new to tea, and they love their black tea as strong and as stringent, like they oversteep it. So some people don't need to go the sugar route. So I'd say, yeah, get some starters like English breakfast or Earl Grey, and then test it with your sweeteners.
So I've got English breakfast here and strawberry green to try.
Mm.
So the English breakfast is that black tea that I never saw before.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The strawberry green is green tea. So
yes,
I never saw green tea either. So it'll be interesting to see both.
Right. So that's a good one to start with green tea then too, because I'm actually not a fan of straight green tea, but I love there's some really good flavors that people match with it. So that strawberry one, like everybody's obsessed with it once they try it. So that's a green tea for the people who like green tea and who don't.
Very interesting. Very cool.
But for the English culture, I'd say maybe start with obviously travel when you can, if you can. But before that, I'd say find, maybe different Facebook groups or like kind of clubs around your area to see. So surprise, surprise, I host a Facebook group where all the tea timers and Anglophiles unite. But
do you actually drink tea while you're all together on it, or?
Some of us do. So we always have like mug form. And then sometimes there's not always tea in our mugs. So we share what we're drinking because it's Fridays at 3. So everyone's like done for the week.
Early happy hour, eh?
Yes. Yeah. Basically it's a tea happy hour. And, but so Facebook groups would be good. And really just, I'd say TV. A lot of people get into it through watching TV. And if you are someone who has trouble hearing what they're saying because of their accents, just turn on your closed captioning, like at the bottom. And I've had that on for the last 3 years because ever since Piper was born, I couldn't always hear the TV. So I've been reading the TV for the last 3 years.
Makes sense.
So you can do it too.
Everybody, if you can, then anybody can do it.
Right.
So I have your information now up on the bottom of the screen.
Awesome. I see it. Thank you.
Is it all correct? I guess is the first question.
Let's see. Yeah, Houses of Windsor tea at Gmail. Yep, that is correct. Awesome. Thank you. I love your setup.
My pleasure. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's fun to do. So anybody who is interested in contacting Amy, that's her contact information there at the bottom. It's Houses of Windsor Tea at gmail.com. And phone number is 765-729-0204. But you're actually located up in Orlando now, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So I'm based out of, so that's an Indiana phone number where I'm originally from. And I plan to keep that phone number forever. And so anyway, but I live north of Orlando now in Altamont. So I am not in cold Indiana.
Thank goodness for that. So I guess the question is, how can I and other folks help you and Houses of Windsor at this point?
Okay, well, let's see. I would say, there's always the liking and sharing of social media, right? Talk to people about Houses of Windsor, go take a peek at it. And I would say, of course, if you want to just go on a shopping spree, you can go to the website and go on a shopping spree.
And that is your website is right there, housesofwindsor.com. Right.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. So but in general, I'd say basically just spreading the word about Houses of Windsor and letting people know that I exist and that the company's got some really cool gifting ideas for businesses and for personal gifts. So that is that.
That's awesome. Very cool. Well, I enjoyed this very much, learning more about tea, and I am excited to go try them. I'm going to do that. And now I'm saving them for tomorrow. That's going to be my thing for tomorrow. Or maybe I'll save one for Friday at 3 o'clock. What was it? 4 o'clock.
Friday's at 3. Yeah. But I think you're actually going to be on my show, right? On Thursday? Yeah. Okay. I was like, it's been weird being a guest because I'm so used to hosting.
Well, I had to turn the tide around.
I know, it's great. I need to get used to it. I can't always be in control.
Lillian Garcia says, thank you, Lady Amy.
Oh, awesome. You're welcome, Lillian.
Lillian, thank you for watching us.
Yes, thank you.
So awesome. I'm looking forward to being on your show.
Yes.
And I appreciate you being on my show. And anybody that would like to be on the show, we do our live at 5 every Tuesday at, you guessed it, 5 o'clock Eastern time. And we're happy to talk about your business and what got you to this point and how you're helping folks out there. So just give me a jingle. You can reach me. All my contact information is at pharusglobal.com. And we're happy to get you scheduled to be on the show. So Amy, thank you. Or should I say Lady Amy, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I own a small plot of land in Scotland in order to have that ladyship title.
That is very cool.
Yeah, very small.
Doesn't matter. You own it.
I know, but thank you.
Well, thank you again. And if you guys need to reach Amy, grab that contact information. This replay will be out on Facebook and LinkedIn, as well as YouTube. It will be there indefinitely. So you can find it at our YouTube channel for Pharus Global as well. So
awesome. Thank you. And I'm new to the StreamYard. Do I click Leave Studio? Is that what you want me?
Not just yet.
Okay.
Good night to everybody. So thank you all for watching, and we will talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Cheers.